What the company is not telling you is when it comes to internal promotions, transfers, lateral moves, the salary range does not apply to you guys. All right. This is coming from a recruiter. I've done countless transfers, promotions, lateral moves. The range does not apply to internals. That is for externals only. What you are going to be offered, and this is for most companies. I'm not going to say all companies because I haven't worked for all companies, but a lot of companies that I am familiar with, the process is the same across the board. Internal transfers or internal candidates are going to get a percentage increase from where they currently are. They are going to try to get you somewhere in the range of the position or where it's graded, but there's no guarantee, and they don't have to give you anywhere in that range. And I've said this before: companies cannot afford to bring everyone internally up to where the job market is.
Yep. And so this is one of the reasons why you'll see people, well, it's a phrase where they say a lot of times you got to leave and come back to get the money that you want because of those internal policies that prevent them from bumping you so much money. Now, sometimes I had a homie, what he did was he negotiated, okay, if y'all can't give me like the base salary, let's write in that I will, get this bonus or split this bonus up for me to get in like the beginning of the year and then the middle of the year. And so he had stuff like that to keep him at the company so he wouldn't leave. And so that worked for him. So there are ways to kind of get around some of this stuff, but you got to be savvy and kind of just know people that can put you on.
Which is the job range that is posted for externals. They cannot afford to bring everyone up to that range. Most companies that I've worked for need approval to give you anything above a 10% increase. I've worked for some companies where it's 15%. Anything above a 15% raise, and it doesn't matter what position you're moving into, needs special approval. And it is a bunch of people that get into a room and say, okay, we're comfortable with this much of an increase. Let's give them 20%. It doesn't interrupt any internal equity. They're fine. They're not at risk of being above the salary range. They're good. We can go ahead and give them 20%. But usually it's somewhere around the 10% range. They don't want to go above that. And so sometimes they won't even bother to even ask for the additional approval. This is why you have to advocate for yourself. Because if you do not, 10% sounds like a lot to a lot of people. It's not to me. I think that 10% going from where you're currently at to a new position, it doesn't cut it. Internals do not dictate and have very little control over what they're going to be offered as an internal for a new position. And sometimes bringing you up from where you're currently at to the lower end of the new range is a stretch. If that exceeds 10, 15%, depending on the company, there needs to be special approval for that in a lot of cases. And sometimes the answer is yes, we can do it. We can bring her to the minimum. And sometimes it's no, we cannot bring that person to the minimum. That's a 30 to 40% increase. Are you crazy? Then what? So think about it like this. Maybe the minimum is fine. They're okay with bringing you up to the minimum. They're definitely not going to bring you to the max. Where you're currently looking for is somewhere in the middle. That's too big of a jump for them. You've got too much dip on your chip. And they are like, we're not doing it. We're going to find someone else internally. We can bring up 10 to 20% that's comfortable with the lower end of the range, and they're going to get the job. The truth is, you're going to have to get them to make you an offer and provide you with some data supporting whatever number they throw out at you. Otherwise, and the harsh reality is, you're probably not going to get what you're deserving of at this company. You're going to get what you are supposed to be making at another company. That's it.
I mean, She kept it honest. She kept it honest. But yeah, that's interesting. I definitely want if you are a person that's probably got a promotion at a company more than like 10, 15%, like if you're in the chat, like let me know and how was that for you? Because like I said, it is hard. Maybe you can negotiate, you get 15 this year and then 15 the next year. There's a way because think about it. If not, they got to pay somebody who doesn't know the environment like you do more, and it's going to take them longer to get up to speed. Meanwhile, you can hit the ground running. I know that's a toxic phrase, but hey, let's see what some of these other ones said. The 100K H-1B fund should have gone to a fund that directly pays free STEM education for Americans in impoverished families. I agree. I agree. I know some colleges are doing that. Like if your family make under 100K, then school is free for you. Let's see what we have right here. Fresh Prince, Greater than Martin. I mean, they're kind of different type of shows, but to be honest, Jamie Foxx show is smoking both of them. What do you think about the AI disintegrating every sector right now? Cloud, Mythos, and the likes going to reduce the workforce we need in cyber, and only real skilled and technical people will get hired. That's interesting. I actually found a TikTok video where a guy was talking about like, is Anthropic actually posturing or is Mythos really like that? Because nobody really knows right now. It's really one of those like, hey, you just got to believe me type things versus like maybe the companies that they're actually working with. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people internally have seen communications about Mythos and how to get their hands on it and everything else. Let's see what do we have. Give me a quick second.